Hi everybody, welcome to this week's episode of the Real Realtor of Houston. I'm Kendall Butler, but of course you already know what you can call me. Peacock, and anything other than the child of God, we're gonna have problems. I'm kidding. But today we have the pleasure of having Tom King with us to talk about the world of termites, bugs, how to keep your house safe from them, and whatever other questions I don't even know that I have right now. So Tom, introduce yourself to everybody and tell us about this world.
Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a native Houstonian. I do termite inspections throughout the area. I've been doing it for 10 years, so I'm here to answer any questions.
What got you into this industry? How long have you been doing it? Just, you know, some things that you kind of learned along the way that you wouldn't necessarily have thought when you first got into it.
What got me into the industry? I just thought it was a growing industry and something that I thought was interesting. Some things I've learned along the way are mainly that termites like to hide in places that you wouldn't think. So if you're going to inspect your own house, then you need to be careful to do areas that you wouldn't normally inspect, cracks and crevices, any areas where you might have too much mulch. In this instance, this house has river rock, which is something I would always recommend, not only just for termites, but also for moisture, because it will allow the moisture to go away from the house. So you just learn things like that along the way, and just kind of pick it up.
Okay, awesome. So I need things done to my house anyway. I have ants, which they're freaking horrible. So he's gonna kind of go around and look for that as well as any other obtrusions or what would you call it? Any other potential? Yeah, infestations or any other ways that they may be getting into the home. So, all right, following the leader.
All right, so the first thing I'm seeing, we do have ants down here in the yard. So if we have ants in the yard, it's more likely that the ants are gonna get into the house.
Will they stay kind of along this trail, like this concrete right here?
They're looking for moisture, but they're also gonna hide underneath these. These are expansion joints, but we're used as form boards to pour the concrete. You can actually buy a product that you can take these out and put an asphalt expansion joint in here, and that way ants can't get underneath.
Okay, so if they get underneath though, like they're gonna go like that up into the house kind of?
When they get underneath, what happens is they'll have a large hill. So the more ants you have in the area, the more likely you are that they'll come into the house.
Okay, all right, got it. All right, so we got ants. And there are products that we can put down that are like water resistant, hurricane resistant.
For ants, you can pretty much do it yourself with anything from Home Depot, just because it's a product you would put on top of the ants. So pretty much everyone knows of Amdro. So I would recommend starting there. If you still can't get it taken care of, then you might want to call a professional.
Okay, Amdro.
So the next thing we have here is a bird's nest. We're gonna show you what the bird's nest is and why you don't want it on your house. So here we have the bird's nest. I'm not sure if it's occupied or not. I don't think it is. But if it is, and you disturb it, then you will get angry birds, and they may attack you. That's also something I've learned along the way.
Kenny's a comedian.
There isn't. I risked life and limb and checked.
Oh, they would have made it known. There's eggs, there's eggs. There's two, one is silver. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Ah.
Okay, so the next step. Make sure that you have good soil clearance all the way around the house. That means that you have at least 2 inches of clearance between this weep hole and the ground. Here we have a piece of rebar. It's next to the house.
What's rebar?
Rebar. Metal.
What did it do?
It's used to make the foundation, and then I don't know why they have it here. They would actually use post-tension wire, but that has nothing to do with termites. I would remove this from away from the house. It's not going to do anything, but you just don't need it. You know?
I thought it meant something. See, you're constantly learning in this industry. I thought that this metal thing had a purpose. It does not.
Now, quick tip, you might see something around that near your house that's going to be the ground, but that would be near an electrical panel, not just randomly there. So no need for that there. Very important to check for any water leaks. We don't want any standing water near the house. Subterranean termites, which are the most common termites in the area, like that standing water to start a new colony. So if you have any leaks here, then you want to get those repaired and make sure that you don't have any standing water. So this all looks good. This corner of the foundation looks good. This gutter looks good. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get a catch basin put here. You're seeing a little moisture there, but that also means that the gutter is performing as it should.
Okay. And the catch basin thing is just that plastic tray looking thing?
Catch basins are just those green plastic trays that you buy. You can also put in concrete. It really doesn't matter which you use. What you want to do is just make sure that you don't have this water so it's evaporating.
So it doesn't like puddle up, basically. Okay.
Next, we're going to look at the fence. This fence in particular has some fungus growing on it.
Oh, because of the green?
Yeah. So
it wouldn't be like the, and I hope this doesn't sound like a wine moment, but it wouldn't be like the color of the grass.
So what you're having here is you're having a moisture issue right here, and we're having standing water within this French drain. So what that means is that you're getting a lot of water, and when it mixes with the air, it's bonding to the wood to make that fungus. That fungus is the first start of wood rot, so you want to avoid that.
What would homeowners be able to do to prevent this from happening? Or, you know, because this was installed by the builder, and nothing against the builder or anything, but, you know, if other people find the same issue, what can they do to prevent it from happening? And it's like, what kind of treatments can they use for maybe their fence? Because my mind went to replacing the whole fence.
That's what you want to avoid. So what you can do is you can use a product called Boracare. You mix it with water, spray that on the fence. It will kill the fungus. Then you can, if you want to, use a pressure washer. You don't need to do these next steps. The pressure washer, and then you can seal the fence.
Is it like boric acid? Okay, and then it's gonna kill the fungus that's growing there, and then we need to seal it again after we do that?
You don't need to, but you can if you like doing projects. But if you want to do just the minimum to keep the fence from getting the fungus, then you just spray it with Boracare.
Okay, and how frequently should that happen?
Once a year, unless you're seeing this growth come back.
Okay, all right.
So usually that's a once a year project. Obviously it doesn't matter what time of year you do it, so I would try to do it when it's not real hot. So today would be a fairly good day to do it.
Okay, and is there any particular time of year that it should be done, or?
Whenever,
okay.
So that you're comfortable. That's why I don't like doing it when it's 100 degrees, because it's hot.
So if they do it in the winter time,
winter time's great.
Okay, because you have no moisture building up or anything like that.
Right.
Okay, and then as far as the French drain, is there anything to kind of that they'll be able to do?
You might want to think about augering this French drain because you do have standing water in there. You're going to get a lot of mosquitoes. Okay. So you just want to monitor
irrigating
this.
It basically.
Yeah. So you just want to monitor this. If you're getting a lot of rain, you'll have standing water, but that water doesn't look to me like it's moving at all.
At all? No, it's not. Okay.
So that's usually a sign of a clog.
Okay. How much would a service like that cost, you think?
I don't know. Unfortunately, prices are crazy now. So whenever I quote, then people say, oh, well, your quote was half what they actually said when I came out.
So historically, how much was it?
About $300. This siding right here is actually fiber cement. So this is not wood, which is much better. Builders aren't using much wood on houses anymore because this is so much more durable. This cannot burn and termites can't eat it. So that's also fiber cement board. So really you don't have a lot to worry about as far as any sort of infestations on any of this wood. So one thing I would say about hardy plank is if you install it and you buy it new, it comes in different colors. So you can pick whatever color you want. That way you don't have to paint it, which will save you a lot of money over time.
So if somebody did want to paint it, is that like not a good idea to do it, or is there a certain type of paint that they should be?
Once you paint it, you have to keep painting it. So you'll have to paint every 3 years.
Why?
Because it's hot and it burns.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. So, the house is on fire. Yeah. The roof.
If you come out, it'll be hot in the summer. Hot and such.
Because of the paint. So it's because like the chemicals in the paint is like making it?
It's because it's not real wood, so it doesn't absorb any heat. So because it's fiber cement, it's like.
So it's like when they paint on the ships and stuff, and on the flight deck and stuff, and it starts to kind of bubble up over time because the heat from the jets. And I'm nuking the hell out of this right now. Yep, they just have to paint it every 3 to 5 years, or get it the color that it should be the first time when you're getting it, so you don't have to worry about that.
That's what I would do if I were buying it new. If a house is already built though, then that's not an option. So, but if you're building or for whatever reason you need a hardy plank, I would recommend getting it the color that you want.
And then go to Lowe's and just get whatever measurements they need for the hardy plank if they're trying to like update a home. If someone's doing a renovation and they want to update the house to add hardy plank, they would just go to Lowe's or...
Honestly, the easiest thing would be is just take this off, mark it out on the new piece with pencil and cut it. So you already have all your measurements.
That is true. Okay.
If you're just doing a remodel, that's a lot easier.
Okay, cool.
We have another French drain. Let's see how this one's draining. And we have the same problem. So in here, we've got standing water. Again, create a habitat for mosquitoes. So, same kind of problem. A lot of times on houses though, you'll see the same problem over and over once you have the problem.
So is it like let's say hypothetically speaking, that price was still $300 to do it. Is that for the house, or is that gonna be like? It
would be more now that you have two.
That's okay, yeah, so it goes up, all right.
Okay, same thing. Really with this amount of French drains, yeah, it's gonna be somewhat expensive.
Well, let's see if we can just get some mosquito killer in the ground, eh? Who can I help sell some houses so I can get this water blown out?
Okay. So this one's dry, so that's good. So no need to do anything to this one. So it might just be that side that needs to be done, but you always want to check that on your house and make sure that you don't have any standing water in those. Or if you have standing water around the house also, then that a lot of times is a sign of a leak with either a sprinkler system or a pool. And so you want to avoid that too, because like I said before, subterranean termites need that moisture to start new colonies. Subterranean termites start a new colony about every 300 yards. That's how far they can fly. So they move at about a rate of 300 yards a time.
So how exactly with the water does it, like what is it with water that termites, I think I don't understand how a termite. Sorry, it was a lizard on the side of the house that scared me.
As termites are looking for a new place to start a colony, they need rotted wood as a food source, and they need moisture to start that colony. So what they look for as they fly around is they look for spots that have elevated levels of moisture, and then they'll break their wings off and burrow into the ground. And so they look for softer wood, rotted wood, and they look for softer soil, just as an easier target to start the colony.
That's why they say not to put mulch around the base of the house, because the water has nowhere to like.
So you're gonna have moisture issues if you have too much mulch, and you may have termites. The reason you may have termites is you can't see behind the mulch. So whatever's happening to the foundation behind that mulch, you don't have any idea. And this is a good example of the grass, or in this case, dirt being too high, so you can't see enough of the foundation.
Okay, so would that be something like looking at a landscaper to come in? Well, the builder just, I guess, whenever they did it, didn't.
A lot of times the houses, for whatever reason, when they grade it, they just didn't grade this part the same as the rest of it. So it's got kind of a slight swell through it.
Okay, but I mean, that's something
that's pretty minor. I'm just trying to point things out that in the future can prevent infestations. That's a lot easier than trying to treat them, just to do preventative maintenance.
Which is what we definitely want to know.
Yes. All right, so over here, they got a little water.
And this is what you meant by like the concrete, just putting it up underneath the things, right?
Yes. So this is used as a catch basin here. You can see that the water's draining this way, which is fine.
Okay.
And then something else on here is that this corner of the foundation has what's called a corner pop.
A corner
Common
pop?
question? Yes, a corner pop. Common question people have is, will this affect the foundation? It will not, because it's less than 12 inches. Also, if you have cracks in the brick or the foundation, that's a good way for all insects to get in the house. So you can prevent infestations just by keeping all those cracks sealed. All right, so we have more water in this one, so probably gonna need to get a landscaping company to get rid of this water. Looks like we don't have any water draining beyond that, and you're getting some standing water. The way I know that is that there's no grass growing here, and you got fungus on the fence.
So it would be with that what's it called?
Boracare?
Boracare.
I would spray the whole fence
Okay.
at once, just because that's easier than trying to do it as you wait for the fungus to show up.
Because I saw that a lot when I was in Virginia, that it was a lot of that green fungus or algae looking stuff that would go up on the side of the house. So would they be able to would they do the Boracare on the same thing for vinyl as they would for wood?
So for that, you can just pressure wash it.
Okay, yeah, which is what we would do, but I didn't know if there was something that you would want to use to treat it.
If it's vinyl, it'll also do it on a hardy plank.
Okay.
So same thing, you can just pressure wash that.
Okay, all right, cool.
And then AC pad, I don't really have anything to mention on that. Same concept on that side of the fence.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. And as far as the roof, there's really nothing in this area that you would need to worry about. All this is hardy plank. On older houses, these soffits They're not going to be hardy plank, they're going to be wood. I did a house yesterday where those are starting to rot. So that house also had some structural issues in the roof, so it needs a new roof.
So how would we be able to tell the difference? Because this looks like hardy wood. Or you're saying this is hardy wood.
This is hardy. So
but sometimes
the way to tell on this is it's got these vents drilled into it. The other way you can tell is if the house is built before about 1995, it's not going to have it.
Okay.
Unless they've already replaced it. But a home inspector or termite inspector, for that matter, could tell you what you have.
And luckily for us, we have an amazing termite inspector right here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so if we want to get in, well not if, but when people want to get in contact with you, how can they reach you?
Best way really for me is text 713-560-7154.
And he is living the life of his dreams, doing what he wants to do on his schedule, which is why we preach entrepreneurship and empowerment. Okay, so.
That is true. Working for yourself has a lot of positive things.
What's one of the biggest takeaways for you stepping into the world of entrepreneurship? Is one thing that you could tell somebody who may be looking at, perhaps, you know, they might be looking at a way to feed their family and they might not have any kind of a education. Is this something that they could get into easily?
I would say that be prepared to work more when you work for yourself and work longer hours.
Very much so.
Because you'll get into kind of a schedule where you don't want to not work, so you're out late a lot of times. Benefit though is that you don't have to be at the same place all day. So, and you know, within reason you can make your own schedule.
And the downfall is you don't have to be in the same place every day.
Yes, there's not that same kind of guarantee. And if you're into that, you might not like it. Not for me.
So if somebody wants to get into becoming a termite inspector, what steps would they need to take?
Really, you probably just want to become an exterminator, generally. And you're gonna have to work for someone else for at least a year to get your license.
Do they have to go to school in order to apply to work with the exterminator?
No,
or they can just come off the street?
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that. But
I mean, as long as you have a high school diploma or GED, you're fine, and then you just go take a course.
Okay,
So,
awesome. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you for watching this week's episode. Be sure to tune in next time where we're going to have another amazing guest. Can't wait to reveal to you who it is. Of course, you know who I am, Kendall Butler, the Real Realtor of Houston. If you have any questions or if anybody who I can help in the world of real estate, please let me know who myself, my preferred partners, how we can assist in any kind of way. You can find me on Facebook, Kendall Butler, Instagram, the Real Realtor of Houston. I can't wait to see you next week.